Hello, my dear children. Children, in the class today, we are going to study second type of multiplication of vectors, and that is cross product. So, without wasting any time, let's get on with the business. Cross product of two vector is called so simply because it is represented by putting cross in between the two vectors. And when we cross product A and B, we get C vector. The quantity we obtain by cross product of two vector is a vector quantity. Therefore, it is also called as vector product. What is mathematical definition of cross product? A cross B is A B sine theta into n cap. This A is the magnitude of vector A, this B is magnitude of vector B, sine of theta. Theta is angle between A and B. And what is this n cap? This n cap is unit vector which represents the direction of A cross B vector. A cross B is a vector quantity. So this is magnitude of the vector and this is direction. What is this magnitude? What is this direction? We'll know very shortly. Well, what is significance of the cross product? Well, in the cross product we have magnitude as well as direction. So let us understand magnitude and then direction. Well, magnitude of cross product of two vector is simple multiplication of magnitude of a vector with perpendicular component of other. We studied dot product. What was dot product? Dot product was simple multiplication of magnitude of a vector with parallel component of other. This is cross product. Here the magnitude of cross product is simple multiplication of magnitude of a vector with perpendicular component of other. Like this is vector A, this is vector A, this is vector B. If we take this A as one of the perpendicular direction, another perpendicular to A, like this. So this B vector lies in between these two perpendicular axes. This B will have two components. One would be along A, another would be what? Perpendicular to A. The one which is perpendicular to A is B sine theta. So what is A cross B? Magnitude. The magnitude of A cross B is what? A into B sine theta. B sine theta is perpendicular component of B, and that is what is written here. See. It can also be understood the other way. This is A, this is B, angle between them is theta. If we take B as one of the axis, another perpendicular axis is like this. Now in this situation, A will have two components. One along B, which is parallel component. Here we have nothing to do with parallel component. The other component is what? This, which is what? A sine theta. So this A sine theta is perpendicular to B. So cross product of two vector A and B is simple multiplication of B with A sine theta. B with A sine theta. And of course it has direction. Children, let us understand the direction of A cross B vector. Direction of A cross B vector is given by this unit vector n cap. And direction of this n cap is what? Is perpendicular to both A as well as B. Direction of A cross B is perpendicular to both A as well as B, or the direction is perpendicular to plane containing A and B. If A and B vector lie in the plane of board, then the direction of A cross B would be what? Perpendicular to the plane of board, either in this direction or in this direction. Let us understand this better with the help of an example, that is torque. Torque is an axial vector, and all axial vectors are the example of cross product vectors. The torque, is turning effect of force, tendency of rotation due to force, turning effect of force, ability of rotation due to force, and this is mathematically defined as cross product of force with displacement vector F cross S. Suppose this is the head of a screw. This is head of a screw, or say that head of the tap, and we are looking at the head of the tap from the top. We are looking at the head of the tap in the wash basin from the top. So this is the top view of the head of the tap. Now, if we apply a force in this direction, F, this is F vector, and this is the distance from center, and we can call it as S vector. So what is F cross S? As we apply a tangential force like this over a screw, say screw, we apply a tangential force like this over a screw, what happens? The screw rotates in this direction, that is anti-clockwise direction. And what happens? As the screw rotates in anti-clockwise direction, when we apply force like this, we never apply a single force, we in fact apply a couple. We also apply a force here. So that increases the value of torque. Anyway, so if this force is applied, this is perpendicular distance, F cross S, this screw is going to rotate in anti-clockwise direction, and when the screw is going to rotate in anti-clockwise direction, it is going to move perpendicular outward, that is out of the board. So this direction of the movement of this screw along axis outward is the direction of F cross S. So what is direction of F cross S? This F is in the plane of board, S is also in the plane of board, and direction of F cross S is where? Along axis of the screw outward, and this direction is perpendicular to both F as well as S. If F is along Y axis, S is along X axis, then this F cross S is going to be where? Along Z axis. Now if we apply force, say in this direction, if we apply force in this direction, and this happens to be our what? S vector, this is F vector. In this particular case, in this situation, the screw is going to rotate in clockwise direction. The screw is going to rotate in clockwise direction, and as the screw rotates in clockwise direction, it moves inward. It moves perpendicular to the plane of board inside, and that inside is the direction of S cross F. S cross F. So what is direction of F cross S? Perpendicular to the plane outward. What is the direction of S cross F? Perpendicular to the plane inward. In every screw you see the direction of the cross product, and we rotate this screw not by applying a single force, we also apply a force here. We in fact apply a couple so that the screw rotates easily. Here also we apply a couple so that the screw rotates more easily. If we apply a single force, the torque generated would be lesser. So in every screw, if the screw rotates in anti-clockwise direction, it moves up. If the screw rotates in clockwise direction, it moves down. If the head of the tap rotates in anti-clockwise direction, it moves along axis up. And if the head rotates in clockwise direction, its head moves along axis down. So this movement along the axis up or down is the direction of cross product of F and S. And what is that direction? That direction is perpendicular to both F as well as S. So what is direction? I hope it is clear to all of you. Well, cross product of two vector does not follow commutative law. A cross B is not same as B cross A. If we reverse the vector, if we reverse the order of vector with regard to this operator cross, with regard to operator cross, if we interchange B with A, we do not get the same quantity. Why? It is simply because F cross S, the screw moves along axis up, and S cross F, the screw moves what? Down. So F cross S, the screw is going to move outward. Then what about S cross F? The screw moves inward. The A cross B is not same as B cross A, but still there is a relationship between them. And what is that? A cross B is negative of B cross A. So if we reverse the order, we have to be very particular about order when we find out the cross product of two vector. If it is A cross B, we have to find out A cross B only. We cannot find out B cross A because they are not equal. So commutative law does not hold true for cross product, unlike dot product where this law holds true. Well, cross product of two vector represents area of parallelogram formed by vector. Well, this is vector A, this is vector B, this is angle theta between the two vectors. Can't we make a parallelogram? Yes, we can complete the parallelogram. We draw a line parallel to this base, and from the head of this vector we draw a line parallel to this vector B. So what do we get? We get a parallelogram. Well, if this A is one of the axis, one of the two perpendicular axes, and another perpendicular axis is perpendicular to A. This is parallelogram. What is the value of area of this parallelogram? We know the formula of area of parallelogram. Area of parallelogram is, this is altitude. If we drop normal here, what do we get? We get altitude of the parallelogram. And direction of area, the value of area of parallelogram is the product of base of parallelogram with what? Altitude. This is altitude. If we multiply this base with this altitude, we get this area of parallelogram. And see, this is B, this is angle theta. This B will have two components. One would be B cos theta, other would be what? B sin theta. So where is this B sin theta? B sin theta is like this. This is B sin theta. This is B sin theta. And you can see that this B sin theta is same as this altitude. What is this altitude? This altitude is same as this B sin theta. And what is the value of cross product A cross B? A cross B is AB sin theta. So A cross B we know is what? A cross B, the magnitude of A cross B is AB sin theta. And what is this AB sin theta? This AB sin theta is the area of parallelogram. And this area of parallelogram of course has a direction which is perpendicular to both A as well as B. And it is because of this region, area is a vector quantity. And direction of area is normal to its plane. Parallel vectors. Children, if vectors are parallel, you know angle between them is 0. And sine of 0 is what? 0. So if we cross product two parallel vectors, we get what? Null vector. Why? Because sine 0 is 0. So right hand side becomes what? 0. The magnitude of cross product A cross B becomes 0. So it is null vector. If we cross product a vector with itself, every vector is always parallel to itself. So A cross A is going to be length of A into length of A, that is, and sine of angle between them, that is 0. And because of sine being 0, everything towards right becomes 0. So A cross A is also a null vector. What is I cross? I, J, K, unit vectors. If we cross product I with I, J with J, K cross K, K with K, all these are what? Parallel vectors. Therefore, their cross product is going to yield as what? 0 vector, that is null vector. The magnitude of cross product of vector with itself is 0. Magnitude of cross product of parallel vector is 0 because sine theta is 0. Perpendicular vectors. If vector happens to be perpendicular, angle between them is 90. Sine of 90 is 1. So what is A cross B? A cross B is going to be A into B into sine of 90, that is 1, into n cap. So if vectors are perpendicular, cross product of vectors has maximum value. Direction as usual is perpendicular to both A as well as B, or perpendicular to the plane containing A and B. Let us find out the cross product of orthogonal unit vectors I, J and K. What is I cross J? I cross J is going to be length of I, that is 1, into length of J, that is 1, sine of angle between them, that is 90, into unit vector. And this unit vector has to be perpendicular to I as well as J. And in this situation, we know that unit vector I cross J is length of I, length of J into sine of angle between them into unit vector. And this unit vector is known to us. We cannot write n cap. This unit vector is known to us. The property of unit vector is it has to be perpendicular to both I as well as J. So the unit vector here has to be K vector, which is perpendicular to both I as well as J. So what is this? This is all 1. So I cross J is equal to K. So I cross J is equal to K. Likewise, if we find out j cross k, we get I, and if we cross product k with I, k cross I, we get j. And we know cross product doesn't follow commutative law. A cross B is not equal to B cross A, but A cross B is minus times B cross A, that we know. So what is I cross J? K. So what is J cross I? J cross I is going to be minus K. J cross K is I, therefore K cross J is going to be what? Minus I. Likewise here, K cross I is equal to J, that means I cross J is going to be, I cross K is going to be what? Minus J vector. And if we wish to remember all these 6 results, we have to make a circle like this. And at 3 places over the circle, over its circumference, you can write down I cap, J cap and K cap. See, and you can make arrows like this in clockwise direction. See, if we move in clockwise direction, I cross J is equal to what? K. If we are moving in the clockwise direction, the cross product of 2 is equal to plus times the third one. So I cross J is equal to K, J cross K is equal to I, and K cross I is equal to what? J. This is what is written here. And if we move in opposite direction, against this arrow, if we move in anti-clockwise direction, then what is this? J cross I is equal to minus K, I cross K is equal to minus J, and K cross J is equal to what? Minus I. And these 6 results are written here. So with this diagram, you can recollect all these 6 results. I cross J is K. If we move along arrow, the cross product of 2 is what? Plus times the third one. And if we move against arrow, then cross product of 2 is minus times the third unit vector. So with this triangle, or you can make a triangle like this also. If you wish, you can make a triangle like this, or you can make a circle. And with the help of this, you can recollect all these 6 results. Children, let us find out the cross product of 2 position vectors. We have vector number 1 A and vector B. A is A1I B1J plus C1K, and B vector is A2I plus B2J plus C2K. What is their cross product? A cross B is going to be found out by this matrix. We are going to make a matrix. This is 3 cross 3 matrix. And in the very first row of the matrix, we write down unit vectors I, J and K. In the second row, the 3 elements are the coefficient of I, J, K of vector number 1. So vector number 1, that is first vector A, and coefficient of I, J, K of A vector are what? A1, B1, C1. They are going to occupy second row. And the elements of the third row from left to right are the coefficient of I, J, K of vector number 2. So after making this matrix, what do? We straightway write down this answer. And how do we find out this answer? See, this answer consists of coefficient of I, coefficient of J and coefficient of K. So what is the coefficient of I and how do we find out? Children, to be able to find out the coefficient of I, we just ignore the elements of the row and column this I belongs to. If we just hide the row and the column I belongs to, for writing down the coefficient of I, what are we doing? We are hiding the row and the column I belongs to. And once we hide this row and column, what are we left with? We are left with these 4 elements. And these 4 elements are what? B1, B2, C1, C2. So what do? We multiply these 2 elements over these 2 elements which are over the left diagonal of say a very tiny square. This is a square. We multiply the elements over left diagonal. We multiply the elements of over the right diagonal. We multiply the elements of the left diagonal, and then we multiply the elements of over right diagonals, and we subtract from LM. LM is what? LM is B1 C2, and what is RM? B2 C1. So from the product of left diagonal element, we subtract the product of right diagonal element. So these elements are what? B1 C2 minus B2 C1, and this is what is written here. B1 C2 minus B2 C1. That is what is the coefficient of I. For finding out the coefficient of J, remember we put here a negative sign. We do not put a positive sign. We put here a negative sign and then find out the coefficient of J. And what is coefficient of J? For coefficient of J, what do? We again hide the row J belongs to and the column this J belongs to. So once we hide these two rows and column, we hide the row J belongs to, we hide the column J belongs to. So what are we left with? We are left with these four elements: A1, A2, C1 and C2. These four elements are left. Again we multiply element left side, left diagonal elements, and from that we subtract right diagonal elements. So the product of left diagonal element is what? A1 C2, A1 C2, and product of right element is what? Right diagonal elements are A2 C1. So it's A1 C2 minus A2 C1. And for writing down the coefficient of K, again we hide the row K belongs to, we hide the row the K belongs to, and we hide the column K belongs to. If we hide the row and column the K belongs to, then what are we left with? We are left with these four elements. And these four elements are what? These four elements are A1, A2, B1, P2. As usual, we multiply left elements, left diagonal elements A1, B2, and from that we subtract right diagonal elements A2, B1. So that's how we find out the coefficient of I, J and K. Remember, when we write down the coefficient of J, we have a negative sign already here. Now there is a numerical workout. There is a numerical done. See, this is a vector A, this is vector B. Find the value of area of parallelogram whose adjacent sides are A and B. So A and B are the two sides of a parallelogram, and we are supposed to find out the value of area of parallelogram. That means we are supposed to find out the cross product of these two vectors. As usual, we make 3 cross 3 matrix. The element of first row are what? Unit vectors I, J and K. And elements of the second row of this matrix are what? The coefficient of I, J, K of vector number 1, 2 minus 3 and 1. 2 minus 3 and 1. And the element of third row are the coefficient of I, J, K of vector number 2. And they are what? 3 minus 2 and 2. 3 minus 2 and 2. So what is this cross product? See, this cross product is going to be, coefficient of I. For finding out the coefficient of I, we hide the row and the column I belongs to. So what is there? We are left with these four elements. Cross product of this, the product of minus 3 with 2 is what? Minus 6. Minus 3 with 2. Minus 2 into 1. That is coefficient of I. For coefficient of J, we hide this column and this row. So what are we left with? 2, 3, 1, 2. 2, 3, 1, 2. See, minus sign is there. So 2, 3, 1, 2 for J. So these are the elements 2, 3, 1, 2. We multiply this and subtract this. So 2 into 2 minus 3 into 1. And for K, we hide the row K belongs to and the column K belongs to. What are we left with? These elements. These are what? 2 minus 3, 3 and minus 2. So what is this? 2 into 2 minus 4 into minus 3 into minus 3. What do we get? We get minus 4i. This is minus 6 plus 2. This is minus 1. This is minus 2 plus 9k. Minus 4i minus j plus 7k. This is area vector. This is area of parallelogram vector. This is area of parallelogram vector. But what we are supposed to find out? We are supposed to find out the area of, the value of area of this parallelogram. That means we are supposed to find out modulus of this vector. Modulus of this vector is what? Minus 4 square plus minus 1 square plus 7 square. You know, magnitude of a vector is what? Square root of sum of the squares of the coefficient of I, j and k. So minus 4 square, minus 1 square, plus 7 square, and this is 49, this is 150, and this is 16. Total comes out to be 64. And square root of 64 is what? 8. So 8 square unit is the area of parallelogram formed by vector A and B. So this was cross product before you. I hope that everything is clear to you. So with this we come to the end of today's class. Thank you very much. God bless you all.